the city with Ronald. So, yeah, it's been a journey, hey. Last week, I had a cliffhanger sort of show. We really did not finish the show, and we were so heated up in our conversation that we decided to have a two-part of it. And I said we were going to continue our conversation by touching on bipolar disorder as well as the celebrity thing that's been happening lately with celebs or famous, social media famous people. Let's go there. Yeah. Social media famous people that sort of saying that they have depression and anxiety. Look, we can't judge. We don't know if they do. We don't know if they don't. We don't see the medical certificates and whatever. But I think we have a bit of our own opinions, which we're going to touch on today as well. So we're going to try and make this all crammed into the show. We hope that it will be. If not, you know what? We're going to continue because this is a very serious topic. I have known too many lives that's been lost through depression and anxiety. I have almost lost my own life through it, and I don't want to see any more people suffer again. So back in studio with us, or back on my settee, and not my couch. Please don't ever say couch, because this isn't a couch, it's a settee. Okay, it's a settee. Back on my settee with me is Michelle Peters, the owner of the Manny's Goddess, and we would. Thank you for coming in.
It's a pleasure to be
I
back.
love your colours today.
Thank
it's
you.
Like all red, you're matching me. Yeah? I'm matching me.
I try.
Are you trying to copy me today?
I might just be, you must be careful.
I don't like copying.
You must be careful.
You can, I'm like the original that there is.
There's only one to know, that's all
Exactly.
you need to know.
There's always only one. And you know my hair, you know, so like I actually kept my hair straight for the past month and I can't deal with it. I just can't. Anyways, so last week we spoke a lot.
We did,
and I hope when you do come back again, we have Tasha with us as well. But before we go on to your personal journey of bipolar, I want to know, Madonna, what is your opinion on this whole celeb thing?
I think it's a lot of bullshit.
Thank you, God.
I definitely think it's a lot of bullshit. Look, you might have individuals that are authentic, you know, that are sincere in coming out and saying they suffer from depression, but there's a lot to be said about what they gain. You know?
What do you think they're going to?
I don't know, maybe more fans, maybe more supporters, maybe they just need a boost in their
Following.
yes.
I felt that way about Nadia Jafta when she came out, and you know why? When you see there's that picture of her with a mom lying, looking at the camera and holding her daughter. How in the world's hell will you look at a camera saying your daughter's so sick and whatever? Why would you look at the camera?
Stage.
Exactly my point. You know, like that is when I knew, because immediately after Nadia Jafta, Chad Chatter came out. Don't even says go there because Chad Chatter and I have only misses apparently.
Okay.
Yeah. Chad Chatter came out. Devin Saunders came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pesh came to me about that as well. Look, I have no issue calling these people out. I don't. What can they do to me? If they're gonna sue me, they're gonna sue me.
Everyone is entitled to their own opinion.
Yeah, you can sue me what you want, but yeah, I'm going to mention your names because at the end of the day, I'm just mentioning famous people that are coming out.
Yeah.
I know at one point Chad Simon also came out, and I think, but that wasn't so viral. That wasn't as viral as what everybody else, because I know with the recent one, which was, you know why he came out? Apparently everyone knows he's died.
I actually know about the girl that he was referring to when he, look, I followed that post like for a couple of days, and he mentioned this friend, and I know this friend.
That inboxed him.
I know the person who inboxed him and know who the actual person is that had died from suicide. So, you know, maybe he had not had himself diagnosed as such. It didn't come across like he personally did.
I can't blame him though for the fact that he ignored the message. I can't. I don't see anything wrong with that. A lot of people said that was wrong. I personally don't, because I also have a lot of followers on Facebook. I also get hundreds of inboxes a day that I cannot attend to all the time. So I cannot blame him for that if he never responded to that message, because I know a lot of people attacked him on that. However,
that's not his problem. I mean, that's not, I mean,
he is not an advocate for it.
Yeah.
However, the whole how do you come out about you having it just
So by the way,
just
it was
after.
like, for me, it was like a by the way, you know, I have depression too. I want to save the world now.
Yes!
Let me put on my cape and let's go.
That's the thing.
Like VSJ and what with J for depression. You know, he didn't. What bugged me more about that whole thing with him coming out is he didn't elaborate on his story. He didn't say that he was diagnosed, when he was diagnosed, what was the situation. It was more like, I have depression, once it is not around my diet, right, let's save the world.
And if you want to come to me, you can talk to me in inbox.
No, I don't want to talk to you. What makes you an expert? If you had said that I have suffered with depression for 10 years and have been diagnosed when I was whatever age, and no.
That's exactly what I keep saying.
Then people would, think, yo.
Like we have for X amount of years we've suffered. Even I will tell people, this is where you need to go. Don't come to me.
You don't want that.
It's not just the energy, man. It's the fact that how my story is meant to help you. I cannot help
you. Exactly.
I think that is what people need to understand.
Yeah.
The fact that people suffer from depression and they are open about it. Their story helps others, but it doesn't mean that they can help you.
Exactly.
There's nothing they can do to make it. Everybody suffers differently.
Absolutely.
Everybody needs to, like you were saying last week when we met, because we actually met last week for the first time. Yeah, so you were actually telling me that you have bipolar disorder.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you deal with it. How the hell am I going to give you advice?
Do you want that, or I can give it to you?
But darling, what? How the fuck? You got split personality, how the hell?
You see,
split.
Stigma.
Is that
right there?
No, correct.
That's one thing people get wrong. Is that no, she's got a split personality.
So it's not that.
It's not my moods.
So explain it. Let's,
yes, some of the moods are related to whether I'm going to be. There's like I've got bipolar 1, so my mania is a little bit more intense and more frequent than it would be for someone with bipolar 2. Okay. Depression, on the other hand, is, and also mania can last for days, weeks, months.
The same with depression also, it can last.
Exact same with depression. So it just means like with bipolar 2, it's like the variations, like the frequencies are very different.
So bipolar is not split personalities.
Me, why would it be?
Now what is bipolar?
You know why people think it's a split personality? Because
it's
no happy. Just no happy.
Yeah, but that's
that's manic. You're happy, you're manic, you're randomly getting like tattoos, you're like cutting your hair all of a sudden, like you just like that's me. I'm making reference to my mania and how I would respond to it. You're spending money unnecessarily, and then boom, you come crashing down.
Kijk eens, jij kan van mij uitgaan voor de tattoo, hè?
Hoe weet je nou?
Het was mijn birthday last month. Ik zie maar
niet.
It was my birthday last month. Okay, so bipolar disorder is the stigma that people have with it is that it's split personality, and it's not. So bipolar is just a variation of depression.
It's a variation of 2 different moods: manic mood and your depressive mood.
Okay.
So when you are manic, like I just explained, it's all over the place. You're net so rond aan heel dag en al dag. And when you're depressed, it's not as like you going through, for me, it's not stages of okay, I'm getting to be depressed now. It happens like that. instantaneous.
Okay, with
And
normal
very,
depression,
very
you
intense.
actually know when the stages are happening.
You are able to recognize it sooner.
Oh.
Look, I think if you've got bipolar and you've had it for years, you know when it's coming.
Mm.
And I'm at that point where I'm able to say to someone, and I have some time ago, I said to one of my friends, I'm not feeling right. I'm not in a good space. I know I'm busy going down a spiral here. And they didn't believe me. And I'm yet to see that person face to face.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like, wat praat jy? Jy was nou right. But it's kind of what I mean. You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
So it's like, yeah, anyway, I can explain myself till I'm blue in the face. I feel like people will just never get it until they live with it.
I don't feel that we should live in a world where yes, people say that you don't know what I've gone through until you walk a mile in my shoes. But even if you walk a mile in my shoes, you still won't know.
You still don't know because I haven't lived my life.
You haven't. I've got how many years behind me that you cannot live, that you haven't endured. And
Traumas and whatever
yes,
happened.
and it's a one day and it's just the next day and things like that. Now I honestly, I didn't know that bipolar was that. Because all I know is what I have.
Of course.
I only study what I have. I only speak to my psychologist about what I have. I don't go any further. But what I want to know is, how do you get diagnosed with bipolar? Because like with depression, we go through, with my anxiety, I went through a particular kind of trauma counseling that I needed to endure before they could tell me, you've got PTSD from this situation, you've got PTSD from that situation that happened, and you've got mild depression from this, but you also suffer from a different type of depression from that. So I've gone through those.
Yeah.
I know, but it wasn't a physical test. So I don't do it.
No, and with bipolar it's the same. I think when, what I was going to say is when I got diagnosed, after a year of being diagnosed with major depressive disorder, I went back to my psychiatrist and I said, I think that there's something wrong here because I'm showing signs of certain things that I wouldn't have necessarily picked up like a few years ago. But what my psychiatrist did, I was like an hour-long session of him pinpointing certain trends and certain behaviors and patterns that had surfaced in that period, in that year period. So I said to him, I get paid now, tomorrow money's gone. I can't stay out of the shop. I have a habit of making sure that every cent is accounted for and it's spent. I'm random at doing certain things. So there was a couple of things that stood out, that came to the fore, that I discussed with him. We delved into my childhood. We looked at, because I'm not a...
And you only been to one therapist?
Yes, I trust him with my life.
Fucking lucky.
I trust him with my life.
I've been through 5. No, 6.
I would never be able to. A psychologist, I think I've seen 2 different psychologists in all the time that I was probably 3.
I do about 6 psychologists
But
that I've been through.
I'm not going to start from ground zero. I'm not. Sorry, but that's me. That's me. But my psychiatrist, I have been with him since the day I was diagnosed with major depressive disorder, and then from there, bipolar. I've got ADHD as well. I have OCD. And
I think women suffers more from OCD than...
Yeah, but I've always been a very nitpicky child. So
this is just all cuck to me. We OCD nowadays is just all cuck. We don't even go into detail that shit. We just all cuck if you say you're OCD. I've got friends that a son is ADHD and they thought I was like, I think I'm just my anxiety. It's not ADHD. I feel like it's just my anxiety. But my depression, so about in February, I had a breakdown. Same story like yours, where I told somebody before the time, I am going to have a mental breakdown. I'm going to have it after my event is done. I said this, but that was my exact words. I said, I feel I need to put myself into a clinic. Nobody believed me. Everybody's like, no, it's just stress, time's been busy and you've been too busy and all this bullshit and cut like that and whatever. And I was like, no, I know I'm going to have a breakdown. I've been down this road before.
Yeah.
I know it. I had my first breakdown 8 years ago, and I ended up in Kinross Clinic. I know what it's going to be like. Practically by my event was the 23rd, the Saturday. I had my breakdown on Monday the 25th.
When you know, you know.
You just know. 2 weeks I couldn't get out of bed. For 2 whole weeks I couldn't get out of bed. I had one person that would try and push me to do a little thing every single day. Like even to I couldn't walk. It's the same as Passion. Passion posted something a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
I couldn't bath, I couldn't eat. I never ate for 2 whole weeks, which is on my recent blog post that I've been sharing. I couldn't do any of those things. And that is the difference that I now, hearing your story, I find that that's the difference between depression and bipolar. You're more manic. You're more...
I wouldn't say I'm more manic. I would say that I have a chance of being manic.
More busy. I don't
In
like the
that-
word manic. Can we say that you are more...
No, I love manic.
No, I don't like that
No,
word.
but I like it.
Can you just suggest me? It's
No, it's not. It's what I choose to be. You know what I'm saying?
But it's
Like,
like...
when I am busy, I want to stay like that. I'm net so van heel tyd. And then, but that is just the thing. Being manic is can be lekker anywhere in the moment. You know, in the back of your mind, I'm crashing very, very soon. But you ride that wave, eh? You ride it.
I the fuck on ride that wave. Like I already know. When it takes me weeks, and you'll also read in my post in my blog where I said that I've explained to my mom how I have to survive every single day. How it takes me, like when I started my show, I was in the mental breakdown phase. When I initially started the show that we are on right now. And they didn't know, my crew didn't know. I have an amazing crew. And they had no idea until my makeup artist, I told her, I said, you know what, this is what I'm going through. I had an anxiety attack on my way here and whatever. I told my guests and I said, you know what, guys, I'm not in the right frame of mind. It took me 2 weeks to get to this day, just to prepare myself to come out here today. And then I still had an anxiety attack on my way here. Because I was suffering at the time up to 5 anxiety attacks a day. So when I explained that still to my mom, and I think this is where we come with family, I know we're going a bit overboard on our show today, but when we explained this to family, it was, they didn't understand, they just looked at me.
I don't understand because I've never experienced it.
They just looked at me so.
Me, what?
Can you hear me? We're gonna have to wrap up. See how much?
No!
I'm definitely getting her back in the studio, and I think that we have more that we need to discuss. I think we have more. I'd like us to touch on where people can go for help, what people can do for help. I don't think we can help people in the sense where you can't tell somebody what they can do because you don't know the next person. Everybody is different, so I feel like we need to touch on that stigma. That's also a stigma as well. I know that there's this list of this is what you need to do for anxiety attacks, and I was like, do you know how many times I've tried this shit and it didn't work? It doesn't, because it's the kind of person that you are.
Yeah.
And I feel we need to touch on that as well. I do want you to come back and let me know what more advice you can give to the next person. Also, so please don't forget to follow our pages on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We will have Michelle back in again in studio with us, hopefully soon, but with her we're going to bring a couple of more guests in as well, because I feel we need to get everybody's opinion. I don't want us to be biased on this topic. I feel like everybody should bring in what they want to say as well, and I think that we can talk more about this.
Absolutely. I mean, there's so much
We can.
related to depression itself and bipolar and all the other mental illnesses that can create so many other discussions from it.
We're definitely going to do it. I promise you guys. We're going to do it again. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting to all my people that supports me. I love you guys.